It's a little known fact about me that I used to bowl competitively, especially when I was in high school and my early years in college. It was actually my freshman year. I went to the National USBC Youth Open. That year it was held in Detroit. And I was in the top, I want to say 12% of bowlers when I finished. I averaged 215 for that particular tournament. I didn't win any particular awards, but it was a lot of fun. And I had established myself pretty well, in my opinion, as a decent youth bowler. Now, I don't bowl that much anymore, but I learned a lot about bowling, especially when it came to the physics behind how a bowling ball works. You see, in bowling, between the first pin and the third pin is an area called the pocket. If you hit it just right, almost regardless of the angle in which you hit it, you're going to get a strike. You just have to hit that right spot. Now, that area is really, really small. It's very difficult to hit it just right. You can increase your odds of a strike, though, if you increase your angle of attack going into the pins. This is achieved by spinning the ball so you throw it along one side of the lane and it turns into the pocket. If you have the right angle of attack and the ball's got enough traction and drive behind it, you can widen your target to make it easier to get a strike. You can not only widen your target down at the pins, but you can widen your target on the lane. You see, the lane is covered in oil, and the oil is shaped somewhat like a Christmas tree or a pizza slice. It gets pointier, it gets narrower, closer to the pins. Not at the pins, about 10 to 20 feet away from the pins normally. In the middle of this pizza slice or Christmas tree, the oil is heavier, it's slipperier. Toward the edges of the lane, there's not as much oil. There's more traction. So if you spin the ball and throw it and you miss a little bit to the inside, the ball will get more oil and it'll slide more before turning into the pins, helping you widen your target. And if you miss further to the outside, the ball can get more traction, traverse more laterally perpendicular to the lane, and make it back so it can still hit the pocket. Back when bowling first became popular, they didn't really oil the lanes other than to protect the wood because we had original wooden lanes. And bowling balls didn't have a whole lot of science behind them. They were made of rubber. They were just big round rubber balls with 3 holes in them. There wasn't much to the spinning. You just had to throw the ball straight and hope that it went through the right spot to get a strike. Bowling scores were relatively low on average compared to where they are now. Bowling ball technology and oil machines that lay those pizza-shaped patterns have really improved. Now there are bowling balls that microscopically look more like sandpaper than they do a smooth surface. They can get more traction than anything that was made out of rubber. Bowlers these days also sand their bowling balls with different grit levels. The coarser the grit, the earlier the ball rolls. The finer the grit, the more the ball will skid before it flips over. And that last bit is the one that's really interesting and the one that I want us to be thinking about as we get into the main topic. We are talking about retirement today. We are talking about saving for retirement. But this bowling thing can help us think about, as we're saving up for retirement, how we can widen our target so we're more likely to hit our mark, to make retiring with dignity a reality. In summary, there is a very fine point between the first pin and the third pin in 10-pin bowling, where if you hit it, you will get a strike. However, if you miss by just a little bit, your odds of getting a strike drop dramatically. You can get your odds of that strike back up by utilizing technology. The oil on the lanes is shaped in a way to help you get strikes if you are spinning your ball. And the way your bowling ball is designed, if you buy an expensive one, can really help you increase your angle of attack and increase the amount of traction your ball gets as it drives through the pins to maximize your average. And for all of us, as we are working to save for retirement, I want us to be thinking about how can we take the target for retiring with dignity and widen our odds that we are going to make it. Not just have a plan that only works if we hit this little narrow sliver of a point, but something that we can have confidence in. I want you to have a plan that you can believe in.